We want like 500. That's makes
Billy
nominal.
Mays. Hey, got a question, huh? And a $6 donation. Donating in style, asking questions in style. Alright, what's the most important part of building a team? In Counterstrike, mostly it's about having 5 people with the same goals. Is it finding people who can take criticism, people who can call your friends? If you mail me expensive liquor, what kind do I want? Alright, all important questions. I'll answer them kind of in order. Um, Most important part of building a team. So I would say that it is true that having people with the same goals is important. Um, in TF2, you also want to consider like play styles
GG. See you later.
and like communication. So I built my first team like that I was the captain of in season 13, and I I built that team with a couple experienced players and a couple up and coming players that have potential. So you want to mix both together, in my opinion. You want to have players that like, or you don't want to just rely only on people that are like old school, you know? Because there's a lot of new players out there that have the passion for the game. They have the drive to win, and they have something new to offer, you know? And a lot of times it's like young kids or something that like just are like really good, but no one will take seriously, or someone who like was kind of the carry of their team or was like never able to really shine, you know? So on my previous on that team season 13, I got Tag on Roamer. I picked him up because I got along with him at LAN, like I met him before I picked him up, and he had like really good plays, good rockets, all that stuff. But then I was trying to build the team around a team that could communicate and coordinate well. So I wanted people that were a lot more methodical and like, people that could listen and be team members. They weren't superstars, you know? I wasn't building a team of superstars. I was trying to build a team of people that could work together and could, you know, I don't know, just yeah, just be teammates first, not, you know, the the center of attention or whatever. Um, Shrugger, similar. Like he was one of the best players on like his respective teams. I'd seen him in Pugs, MGE. He practiced a lot. That was another thing I saw in him was like he wanted to get better. He put in the time. He practiced. He just never really got a shot. Well, he did. He played on an invite team before that. He struggled on LAN once or whatever, and everyone labeled him as like, you know, as like the player to choke every time on LAN. But I didn't buy it. I knew he was a good person. I knew he was a talented player, so I gave him another chance. And then the last person on the team was Lansky. So Lansky, um, him and I had like the same goals. Him and I were like the same mentality, same kind of age, going through the same stage of life, kind of like, growing up with the game. We both wanted to win. We both wanted to do it like we wanted to do it right, you know? So Lansky was also there. Him and I like became like brothers, you know? Um and then we also added in experienced players such as myself, Sizer, and Shade, all like land proven players. So that's how I built my first team, season 13. Then, you know, fast forward to now. What is my team like now? Well, now everyone on my team is extremely experienced, all land proven, all insanely good. But again, like we built this team season 16 around players that were I don't know, like just communication is always one of the most important things. I would never pick up someone on my team that can't speak when they're playing, can't like make decisions, can't think for themselves, you know? Um, yeah. And they have to be able to fit into the play style. We ended up replacing our demo man season 17. Dummy was quitting. We had to pick up a new demo. We chose Duwatna. He tried out with us, but the reason we chose him is, I mean, he got along with us. Like, he fit in quite well with the team, like, chemistry, personality, etc. But he could also play the play style, and he could handle the pressure, you know? So that's important. Um, what else? Finding people who can take criticism, yes, that's important. You know, if their priority is to win, they have to be able to take criticism. If, sometimes you just gotta suck it up. Sometimes you make mistakes, and I've gotten in arguments, but then you gotta be able to put that aside and prioritize the team first. Um, but I'd say for me, communication is one of the most important things. I I put a lot of effort when I build a team to like make it feel like everyone is equal. Maybe I call myself the leader, but I like I constantly try to pull like ideas out of my fellow teammates, constantly try to like ask them for input, make everyone feel like they're equal, like everyone can contribute to the team, everyone can call important things, everyone can just be like everyone can feel like they're important. Um so that was something I always did on my team. And then let's see what else. People you can call your friends. See, that is important to get along, but friends and teammates aren't necessarily the same thing. Like, there are certain people that I would never play with on a team. They're my friends, but I wouldn't play with them. And there are certain people on my team right now that like we don't necessarily hang out, but we work as teammates. I'd say the best example of that would be Clockwork. Like, him and I don't hang out, but we can get along and we have good like in-game chemistry. We can play together well, play off each other, things like that. So I prioritize a good teammate over a best friend. Those things, naturally occur. Like, you play with people, you will hopefully, start getting along, get to like them. I'd say Lansky is like one of my best online friends. Shade, one of my favorite people to hang out online. But then everyone else, like, when we play, we get along perfectly, but we don't like hang out, I don't know. And if you mail me expensive liquor, what kind do I want? I personally do like, I like vodka, so that would probably be my drink, but I'm always open to trying new things. So, yeah, that's basically it. I guess one thing I will say also about team building, when you start out, I think the best way to get on your first team is to play with friends, honestly, because that's just how you can maybe tolerate losing, because when you start, you're going to lose. But then you might find that as a player, you don't want to lose anymore. You don't want to just have fun and play with your friends. You want to be the best. And for some people, playing with friends is the ultimate goal. Having fun is the ultimate goal. And they won't admit, that they don't care about winning or whatever. Or maybe they will. But the worst thing you could do is, stay on a team that doesn't have the same goal in mind for too long, Some teams are stepping stones, You got to look at it like that, the long-term career. Maybe your first team is all friends. Your second team is half friends, half people who want to get good. And then you slowly develop into a team of just people who, like, want to win, maybe, It's kind of inevitable. Not everyone will see the same goals, have enjoyment from the same things, So for me, my first team in TF2 was a pub community team. People that I had been just playing on fast respawn 32-man with for months, and just we decided we wanted to play competitive, so I joined that team. My second team, we formed because we wanted to win open. That was literally our entire goal, and we won open. So that was it. I think it's really possible for new teams to show up and upset the current invite. I do. That's what's happened forever, right? I wasn't always an invite, and now I'm on the 3-time ESEA invite champion team. You know? Before I was an invite, the best team ever was Complexity. And then we beat them. So why couldn't it happen again? I don't know. Invite is all about experience. I've played an invite since season 6. Obviously, I have an advantage over someone who's new. But you gotta lose to win, in a way. Because you have to learn. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn from your losses. I think there's been up-and-coming players that have gotten on invite teams and have made a mark. Like Duatna. Duatna struggled through low invite for quite a while. And then he proved himself and he got a chance to play on a top team. And he took it. And he joined Street Hoops. And then he joined us. I don't know. Why am I yelling? Am I yelling? I guess I was just getting excited. You know, it matters to me. I'm passionate about these things. You know, earlier people asked me what are my favorite questions. That's what I'm talking about. Like TF2 questions. I could talk about that shit forever. I get into it.